indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Big one up there.
It snuck in there.
Item 3 on our agenda is the superintendent's report.
Employees of the Year here this evening. This is a time that we look forward to, and I just want to offer my
Item 4 on the agenda are board reports, and we'll start from the far end, which, Mike, I think that's you.
I have no report this evening.
Thank you. Stacy, no report. Dawn, no report.
Can
you hear me okay? Is it on? Is it on? Yeah? Okay. All right. So, from Siliger. Reading for the next 7 days. And that concludes my report.
Everybody's quick tonight. Thank you. Laurel, no report?
No report.
No report? I do not have a report tonight either. We're all anxious to see the hardware. Moving on to association reports. Do we have any association reports? Okay, seeing none, we're going to move on to public comment. Normally we'll accept public comment in person and a number of different ways, but given that we're in a different venue, the only way we have to receive public comment, unless you're here in person to give it, is by email. So we ask anybody with public comment to limit their responses to 3 minutes and not just to repeat the speaker who may have presented the same material. So with that said, do we have any in-person public comment? Seeing none, do we have any via email?
No public comment, Mr. Cassiopolo.
Okay, I think we're going to be out of here at like 6:07 tonight. All right, folks. Let's see. Report public comment. Item 7 is approval of the consent agenda. This is for action.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion by Trustee Walker, second by Trustee Wilkie. Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, motion carries. Item 8, informational items. This is for discussion only. Don't know if anybody from the board has anything to bring up, but we have informational items in the packet for your review. Any additional discussion on these informational items from the board? Not seeing any, we're going to move on to tonight's main event. Tonight we're going to, item 9 is recognition of the 2021 Carson City School District Educational Support Professionals of the Year, Certified Educators of the Year, and Administrator of the Year. This is a non-action item for discussion only. And our Master of Ceremonies tonight is going to be Mr. Dan Davis, supported by, I believe, Superintendent Stokes.
So I take it the time is mine then, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, welcome everybody to Carson High School. I don't know about you, but I really enjoy this new venue. The only downside to it is we do not have the ability to take Zoom calls and stuff. So, I mean, I know there's plenty of people out there that are probably watching that who are not with us tonight, but your thoughts and impressions are here with us. Tonight we celebrate and honor some of the most dedicated and diligent education support professionals as well as educators. This is an annual event that I really look forward to each year. Let me turn this on here. My name is Dan Davis. I'm the Public Information Officer with the Carson City School District. I help manage a lot of the news media as well as pushing out a lot of the good news about the district. Sometimes I have to deal with some of the negative news, but I'll save that for another day. Joining me tonight is Miss Loretta Marston. She'll be presenting the plaques for the ESP Employees of the Year, as well as Miss Christine Wagner. She'll be presenting the plaques for Educators of the Year. And then, of course, later, Mr. Cassioppo, President Cassioppo, you'll be joining me to bestow those final 3 plaques. First off, I want to say congratulations to everybody here. Tonight certainly is a cause to celebrate. Thanks for all the support that we have from administrators, from those who are not physically present here but are viewing this online. Your presence here is not only indicative of your service and care for our students, but also for your fellow peers. Additionally, I'd like to thank the custodial staff for setting up chairs, tables for this event, as well as ensuring the overall appearance and cleanliness of our schools. Let's just give a quick round of applause for them. Thanks to Mr. Donald Stidham. He's the project manager for Innovation Communication Systems LLC and has graciously provided the audio-visual and sound system for tonight's event. He's been doing that for nearly a decade running. So many thanks to you and your team. Oh, let me go back. I can't forget to thank Miss Renee Cortez and Miss Jolie Conn-Roberts, everyone else who also helped make this happen. There's a lot of effort put into these events, and I didn't want them to go unnoticed because there's a lot of background work that they put forth. Jolie spends a lot of time just coordinating the interviews, getting all the written material for those interviews, so many thanks to them. Let me push this forward here. So, unfortunately, due to the restraints of school closure last year because of COVID, the school district elected to forego the award ceremonies dedicated to recognizing the individuals from last year. Before we begin tonight's program, I want to take some time to duly honor those individuals and formally recognize them whom we missed last year. Unfortunately, I was not able to get photos of every winner last year. We did the best we could to do like a group shot and to do headshots, but I got most. And what I'd like to do is, if you're here, I know the invitation went out late. If you would like to come up and share a few words, you're welcome to take the mic for a minute or two. The 2020 Educator of the Year and ESP Employees of the Year winners, if you recall, we didn't announce an official winner last year. It was really kind of one of Carrie Pryor's ideas to make everybody who was winners at their sites take it like a team win for everybody. So hence the group photo, so congratulations to everybody. I'm going to start by recognizing Chanel Kavner. She is the algebra geometry teacher at Carson High School. Is she here tonight? Doesn't look like it. Well, congratulations to Chanel. She does amazing work here at Carson High School. Also, we have Robin. She's the account clerk, or was the account clerk at Carson High School, and I think she has retired. Is Robin here this evening? I don't think she got the message in time. It came late. At Carson Middle School, we had Whitney Tynes. Is Whitney here? She does a great job. She works a lot with my daughter and student leadership, and I know they have an enjoyable time at Carson High School, so congratulations to her. Also, Jenny, she is a paraprofessional at Carson Middle School. Is she here? I'm kind of getting the same feeling for most of these, but congratulations to her. We want to recognize her. At Eagle Valley, Lois. Is Lois here? I don't see her. She may not. Okay. She was TOSA at Eagle Valley last year. I know she's vice principal over there this year, but she was recognized, as well as Denise at Eagle Valley. Congratulations to your team there, Lee, so thanks for sending that information along. At Seeliger, Tara's unable to be here. I got word today that she was not going to be able to be here, but she's the PE teacher there at Seeliger. And then also Miss Schaefer, Karen Schaefer, she's unable to join us tonight too. But again, we want to recognize these individuals for the contributions. She's the office specialist at Seeliger, and anytime I need anything, she's always the first to pick up. Her and Denise are like the most amazing team at Seeliger. So let's see here. Did I turn my page too soon? Over at Boardwalk, we've got Miss Dunbar. She is fantastic. She did the very first Why I Teach video with me, so we kind of have a special bond. But she is a second grade teacher at Boardwalk, does amazing things there. Kathleen Childs, I was unable to get a photograph of her. She's a paraprofessional at Boardwalk, and I wish I had more information on her to share. Teresa, over at Empire, she was pretty nice to work with. She really enjoyed the photograph that I took. We took several, but she called me or emailed me, and she's like, could you somehow get that on my badge? And so I think we worked with HR to get this photograph on her badge. So, but congratulations to her. Also at Empire is Carolina. I was unable to get her photograph. She's the office specialist there. Over at Fremont, Susie, if you're here, please stand up or let me know. So she's the second grade teacher at Fremont. Is she still there or did she retire? She's still there, okay. We're happy to have her. She's so fun. Also at Fremont, Mylan. You'll have to forgive me for my pronunciation. I'm doing the best I can. I've got a pretty poor dialect when it comes to the English language. She's paraprofessional ESL at Fremont. Over at Fritch, Christine Donaldson. Also, I was unable to, I did the best I could last year. I sent multiple emails to administrators and folks to try and track down a photograph. Could not get one of her. She's a kindergarten teacher at Fritch. Dawn Bateman, I was able to grab, this is not one that I took, but it's a very good photograph of her. She's a paraprofessional at Fritch. Tara at Mark Twain was also recognized. She's a computer teacher. And Cassandra at Mark Twain as well. Pleasant people to work with over at Mark Twain. You've got a great team there. At Pioneer, John Corbett. He's a math teacher, does great work. And also Karen Wang. We were able to track down a photograph of her. So she's a cook/baker at Pioneer. And then also Miss Pryor, she was unable to be here tonight. I guess she was helping out Sarah Lobsinger up at the college this evening. So, but she's, of course, as you all know, she's implementation specialist over and cognitive coach for student support services. And then also for student support services is, transportation. Mike. I'm glad somebody's here. I'm glad somebody got the email, so thanks, Mike. Do you want to say a few words, or you're good? Is everybody going to pass tonight? We're going to make this a super short meeting? I sure hope not. Mike is a bus driver for I don't know how many years, but it's been ongoing, and we appreciate that. Cherie, did you? 9? 2009 is when he joined us, so thanks. Congratulations, Mike. For building maintenance for operations, Gary Jones. Again, I could not get a photograph. And then Gina Hines, I really pressed her in the district office today. She was not willing to give me a photograph. But she's the administrative secretary for the district office. So, in addition to all those, that was 25 names we just read through pretty quickly from last year. But in addition, we also recognized Deanne Foley. She's the RN and school nurse at Carson Middle School. She earned the Health Professional of the Year award last year, so congratulations. And then also, I know she's present, Ms. Paula Zona. She's the principal at Seeliger. And she earned the Administrator of the Year last year. So let's give another round of applause for last year's winners. Their efforts and contributions have truly not been forgotten, nor have they gone unnoticed, so thank you for everybody there. Now, should we take a break? Let's see. So tonight's recognitions will be awarded alphabetically by site, beginning with the high schools, then middle schools, then elementary schools, etc. Well, yeah, essentially those, well, etc., because we'll get into student support, transportation, all those others. So, unlike previous years, administrators from each site will not introduce their winners. I don't know how you feel about that, if that's a good thing or not, but it makes my job tougher because I have to talk more. This was kind of done out of consideration for safety purposes, where we're gathering. We're trying to reduce the overall length and duration of the program. Some years it's gone into the wee hours. I'm kind of glad that we're here in the gym because years past out in Senator Square, you can kind of see the dark through the, what are they called? The skylights. It started to darken the event. But yes, please understand that I know how much it means to these employees to hear their superiors speak so kindly about them and receive the verbal feedback that they have been appreciated or that they are and continue to be appreciated. I hope those conversations took place at your individual sites. I hope that you as their leader was able to reach out to them and duly embarrass them in front of their coworkers in a manner that was appropriate. We had previously suggested that administrators still, oh wait, I'm sorry, I'm reading the same thing again here. Okay, so after each introduction, I'm going to invite each individual winner to come up here and provide a few words. If you don't feel that inclined, you can just come up and say thank you. But we want to have you recognized here, so I want you to come up here and say a few words at least. So just be aware. Okay. At the conclusion of the introductions and we get to the final awards, I'm going to invite President Joe Cacioppo to join me to introduce the final winners. This year we did not do a healthcare professional award. It's such a small pool to choose from that, you know, pretty much every 3 to 4 years you'll be recognized again. So not that they're not appreciated, but we're trying to, again, consolidate the amount of time that we have here. So now, these are the 3 big ones that Joe, I'll have you hand out the plaques for. Administrator of the Year, ESP Employee of the Year, and Educator of the Year. Now, without further ado, we're going to move on to Carson High School. Levon. In addition to being the advisor for the Carson High School bowling team, Ms. Solberg plays a critical role to ensure Infinite Campus is fully functional every single day. She assists with master scheduling, generating data reports, and is the liaison between Carson High School and Western Nevada College. She previously worked in the CHS library and helped coordinate 400 plus seniors and 450 community members for senior projects. What a program that was. She also serves as the quasi-secretary for the teachers and students in the high-tech center. Given the craziness of the pandemic last year, I'm sure trying to create a master schedule to fit students into a hybrid or full-time online learning setting was flat out ridiculous. I like what LaVon said during her interview, and I'm going to put this in quotes. She said, "I sing a lot, I pray a lot, I laugh a lot, and I research for solutions." LaVon?
It's awful being first. I didn't think we were going to have to say anything, but I really thank you guys so much and all the people here at Carson High that I absolutely love that chose me to win this award. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, LaVon. Is this mic hot enough? I keep going in and out. Okay. Ananda. While she's working her way up towards here, I'll let you know that Ananda is a second-generation alumni at Carson High School and a mother of future senators. This marks her 23rd year with Carson High School and her 25th year as an educator. In her words, scaffolding content, presentation, and product to meet the diverse needs of each student is the cornerstone of her instructional style. These words were truly evidence in her interview when she presented a full-scale, full-on slideshow. I think we've all been there before. It was fantastic, though. Like, that was the only thing people could talk about. At her soul, she is an advocate for equity in education. When schools closed last spring, Carson High School's most at-risk students were staring directly at academic failure. Many of them did not have digital access to education. Without hesitation or request, Ms. Campbell began working on a system to ensure those students had access to Wi-Fi and fully operational Chromebooks. Without her extreme effort, many of those students would have fallen through the cracks and received no credit for that second semester. I really like how she defined this approach in her interview. She said, "Equity is beyond what we typically consider equitable. We need to work extra hard to ensure everyone is being included. When you make everyone feel welcome and supported, that's inclusion." Ananda?
I just want to say thank you so much. It's really humbling to be representing Carson High School, and a shout out to my son who's watching from home. Augie, I wish you were here. And I'm really grateful to my daughter for coming here with me tonight too. So thank you very much.
I love Ananda. She's so fun. She's always helpful for me, like a number of videos, number of things, even last year. So in addition to the recognition she's received, many thanks again, Ananda. Pioneer High School. We're going to start with Jillian Schufelt. So Ms. Schufelt works at Pioneer as the online lab staff, serving grades 9 through 12, providing credit recovery options, assisting the distance education coordinator, and serving as the student leadership advisor and the speech and debate team advisor. She played an integral role in helping Pioneer achieve its highest graduation rates ever. Before working at Pioneer, she spent 2 years teaching English in Mexico and now assists the office with Spanish interpreting in parent conferences. It has been said on multiple occasions that she is the light on campus, helping others shine, coworkers and students alike, and reach their full potential. You have to consider this as a panel when we're judging these interviews and individuals. We talk afterward, in between, and one of our panel committee members in the interview said that Jillian really reminded her of the Fred Rogers story. And that's, you know, like when he sees bad things on the news, his mother always told him to look for the helpers. And she said Jillian is one of those helpers. Jillian.
Thank you. That was a really sweet thing to say. And I'm super grateful for this opportunity, for everyone at my school who decided I deserved this. Thank you. And for my parents for always believing in me and encouraging me to follow my dreams. The beginning of my career, I hope that it keeps going great. So, thank you.
Congratulations. All right, Daniel, is he here tonight? Now, is it Dan or Daniel? Okay, I'm Dan, so I'm going to call you Dan. So Dan was out on medical leave during the week that we were doing interviews for Employee and Educator of the Year, but although he was not present, his name and contributions were weighed heavily in the process. Principal Zona described him as having a caring approach. Although he kept the bar raised high for all students and encouraged their best efforts. Dan also assisted in helping Pioneer reach the highest graduation rate in the school's history. He keeps English and social studies relevant and exciting, and you can often find him in full costume and historical leaders and figures to inspire and get the attention of his students. In his letter, he quoted Napoleon, which I thought was kind of an interesting approach. Napoleon says, "A leader is a dealer of hope." And my interpretation as to what he meant by that was, a leader must instill the ability for people to believe in themselves. His teaching style is simple. He accepts nothing less than the best effort from his students, and he is there to provide that leadership. Dan?
Thank you. I just want you all to know that I managed to find my razor, so I'm good to go. I didn't get all of it, but I managed to cut off most of it. Thank you to everybody. This is a really happy time in my life, and I appreciate all your support. Thank you, School Board and Superintendent Stokes, and to my principal, Mr. Zona. It seems just like yesterday that I was standing in our old library at Pioneer High School begging Jason Zona for a job, and he gave this kid a chance. And it seemed like just like yesterday that I was getting out of college, and I had spent 7 years in there, and my wife finally told me, it's time to get a job. I said, plenty of people go to college for 7 years. She said, yeah, they're called doctors. And, but yeah, it's 7 years now that I've been at Pioneer, and I wouldn't trade any bit of it to work anywhere else. I love working there. We're doing some really good things there, and I'm happy to be a part of it. So thank you very much for this.
All right, moving on to Carson Middle School. Myra. Interesting fact about Myra, I don't know if you knew this, but she's a biochemical engineer. Way to go. Now, for those who don't know, a biochemical engineer conducts studies on cells, proteins, viruses, or other biological substances to determine optimal conditions for growth. Taking a similar approach in school, Myra has proverbially hung up her lab coat to be an ESL paraprofessional. She's now engineering and creating bridges of communication with her Hispanic students to help them achieve academic goals. Myra works in the classrooms with student one-on-one, and in small groups. She supports what students are learning and assists teachers with their needs, including translating letters to parents. In addition, she's often found on lunch duty observing and noting which students do not have winter jackets. In her words from the panel interview, she said, "I love doing my job, and I'm pretty good at it. I'm a good link between the school and the families and students." Myra.
Good evening, everybody. As Dan said, my name is Mayra Dyer Velarde, and I just want to thank all the members, the staff members at Carson Middle School for recognizing me and giving me the opportunity to get this award. I appreciate every single moment they support me. And it has been a journey, 4 years journey, where I have been learning, I have been sharing, and enjoying every single moment in Carson Middle School. Thank you, teachers. Thank you, Mr. Sadler, Mrs. Cruikshanks. Like I said, all the staff in Carson Middle School. Thank you for the support. Thank you, the Hispanic communities in Carson Middle School. I love to be in the link between them and the school. Thank you.
Mr. Sadler, I'll let you know too that she really enjoys assisting with math, so there's a potential math teacher here. Just wanted to make note of that. Miss Shelley Randall. Shelley, I think everybody on the panel was surprised to learn that this was your first time to be nominated for Educator of the Year. She's been nominated, let's see. She is a testament to how many great teachers we have in our district. This is her 23rd year as an educator at Carson Middle School. She's taught computers, yearbook, special education at CMS. Shelley knows all of her students beyond just name and face. She builds trust, respect, and rapport with each, and seemingly knows what each student is interested in, as well as current events taking place in each of their lives, both at school and at home. She always represents the best interest of students and learning, and is never afraid to do what is right, even at the risk of unpopular opinions by her colleagues. Mrs. Randall's philosophy of education is you need to get to know the students and their background, who they are. As soon as you know them, then all the barriers come down. I also want to note, too, that Shelley will be retiring in June. Shelley?
Thank you. I want to say thank you to Dan Sadler and my colleagues for nominating me for this and the support that I've gotten from all of the staff. It's been a journey, 23 years at the same school. I wouldn't change a thing. I love it, and I respect everybody I work with. Thank you for this. Thank you, Mr. Sadler.
All right, Eagle Valley. Bam. Eagle Valley Middle School is so lucky to have Pam as a special education comprehensive life skills paraprofessional. That's a mouthful. She's been involved with the school district in one way or another for 20 plus years. She started as a volunteer, later hired as a lunch duty, and then as a part-time aide at Seeliger. She also helped with the reading program for 3rd to 5th graders for some years. She later decided to pursue a full-time job, so she joined a sub-list and subbed for aides at all schools until a full-time position became available. She's incredibly humble and feels strongly that all parapros deserve recognition because it's a hard job. Amen, sister. In her words, we should all have been picked. You are only as good as the team you work with. As a one-to-one paraprofessional, Pam is scheduled to leave Eagle Valley to continue to support her science special education student at Carson High School. Reflecting on her fondest moment in helping a student or staff member, she said, "The moment my student let me put my hand on his shoulder was tender. He finally trusts me." I'm sure there are many more tender moments like that in store for her, but for now, the time is hers. Pam.
I just want to thank the school I work with Lee, and an awesome principal, and the team I work with. They're all great. And my husband, who knows just by the look on my face when I walk in whether he should throw chocolate at me or and my family, who's always got my back. Thank you.
I'd like to also mention, for those who don't know, Pam is a huge Disney fan. And for me, being me, I just had to ask her what her favorite attraction was at Disneyland. And for the record, it's a tie between the Haunted Mansion and Pirates of the Caribbean. So, Brittany, come on up. I love Mrs. Witter's story. She can be considered both the past and future of Carson City School District and Eagle Valley Middle School. This is her 7th year teaching in the district. She attended Seeliger, Eagle Valley Middle School, and Carson High School as a student. She's student taught at Eagle Valley and is now a social studies teacher at Eagle Valley Middle School. She even joked with her 8th grade social studies teacher to, quote, save her a spot because she was going to come back and teach there. She knew it. That's awesome. She will with certainty continue to evolve and will serve as a leader for our district. What really sets her apart from many others is her positive attitude and outlook. When asked how she would improve our present education system, she said, "Education is lacking a heart, is lacking a lot of heart. You need to love this job. You can see through all the hard aspects like testing, etc., if you have heart and care for the children." Brittany.
I have to get on my tippy toes. Thank you to everyone at Eagle Valley and my principal, Dr. Conley, for this. In a year where I feel like it's my first year teaching again, this was something so nice just to kind of make you feel really reassured about what you're doing in life and with your career. I do love this district. I'm a Carson kid through and through, like Dan talked about. I foresee my next 20, 30 years here. I feel very lucky and blessed to be a part of Carson City School District and Eagle Valley Middle School. So thank you, everybody.
Okay, we've got Seeliger. Mr. Owen, come on down. I like Dan. Every time I go to Seeliger, he always says hello. He always sees me. I think it's because we have the same name. But he makes a point to wave to me, so I appreciate that. Mr. Owen has been with the Carson City School District for the past 13 years, and he consistently has a smile and kind words for students, staff, and parents. He is knowledgeable and committed to his work and the school. His positive, outgoing personality combined with getting the job done establishes him as a key asset at Seeliger. He has an everlasting love for music, and being a musician only adds to his obsession. Whether he's listening or playing music is a huge part of his everyday life. Dan plays the drums. And for the record, it was difficult to get out of him because his love of music spreads across so many genres, but he finally conceded to me that his favorite band was Pink Floyd. He also likes a lot of metal and other cool stuff like that. So, but Pink Floyd was what pushed it. It was a tough call. When asked about his fondest moment in helping student, he said, "I once helped an autistic boy get to lunch. When you see someone who has a need and you're the one person who can fit that specific niche, it leaves an imprint on you." Dan?
Oh, thank you, Dan. I'm not good at public speaking, so I'll do this as quickly as I can. Thank you, Paula. Thank you, all my colleagues who voted me in. This is a great honor. Mr. Phil, Pam's husband over there, thank you very much for helping me get hired onto the school district. If it wasn't for him, I may not be standing here. Of course, my wife and my son are here, so thank you very much. And that's about it. I'm very honored.
All right, is Mary here? So again, Mary was unable to join us in person while we were doing interviews for Employee and Educator of the Year, but again, although she was not present, her name and contributions as detailed in all the letters of recommendation were weighed heavily in the process. She's had the opportunity to teach all grade levels in her 50 years as an educator. Her hard work and perseverance enabled many students to experience success in school. Her extensive knowledge of learning disabilities, special education law, and effective instructional practices make her such a valuable team member. In her words, according to her letter, "Children deserve an opportunity to thrive based on what best works for them. It's my job to determine what they can and cannot do. I watch, I listen, I learn. My students are my best teachers. Their voice is important. There's no greater joy than to see a child's face light up when they reach a new milestone. Feeling successful is the first key to learning, and I take that bit of research very seriously." Mary?
I've just been very, very blessed to have had the last 5 years with Paula as a pirate, and I'm just thankful.
All right, we're moving on to Boardwalk. That's the right slide, so we're doing good. I think we're about halfway through. It's going quick. I'm feeling good. Janet. Is she here tonight? She's not here tonight? It's a good thing I got a good write-up for her. I spent a lot of time writing this up. I felt impressed to do so. Miss Ingram started at Boardwalk Bray as a noon aide and has been with the school for the past 20 years working as a paraprofessional in the special education autism program. Her years of experience working with the special education population has given her the opportunity to bring hundreds of positive changes to the team in both academic and behavioral aspects. Ms. Ingram is extremely patient, caring, and understanding to each student's individual needs. She can monitor and adjust the instructional plan based on the student, and on a regular basis, general education teachers request her to work in their classrooms and assist with their students. In the interview, she shared one of her fondest memories. She said one of her fondest moments in helping a student was getting one of them to tie their own shoes. She said it brought tears to her eyes. Seeing her students succeed and become independent is so rewarding. In addition to working with special needs children, Ms. Ingram's daughter is also autistic. And this is kind of where I took a little creative liberty in doing some additional research. Hearing that about her child being autistic reminded me of a famous YouTuber. I don't know if you know Mark Rober. He does a bunch of really cool stuff. He's a former engineer for NASA, and he debuts several educational and fun videos. My kids love to watch them. Anyway, his most recent video, he tells the truth about his son, who's autistic. And I found it so meaningful. Mark Rober's words said, this is him speaking on the video, said, "A successful life is one where you leave the world better than you found it. Sort of a net positive effect due to your influence. There's a lot of normal functioning people who are critical and seek to take others down, or have made a ton of money but are just terrible people. And by my definition, they're not successful. People with special needs might not meet the traditional criteria of success by benefiting GDP, but they have such a net positive effect on the people who get to interact with them. They ground the rest of us and demonstrate the simple joys life can offer. By the best definition of success that I can think of, they are giants living amongst us mere mortals. They make the world a better place, and we're lucky to have them." Janet, I know you're not here. Hopefully you're listening to this online, but you're one of those special, successful people who make the world a better place, and we're lucky to have you. So thank you, Janet. All right. Heather? Oh, good. Mrs. Thompson started teaching at Seeliger before coming to Boardwalk Bray. At Seeliger, she was a resource teacher and then moved into the classroom as a 5th grade teacher. In 2016, she transferred to Boardwalk Bray and fit in beautifully with the kindergarten team. She's confident in her abilities, makes strong connections with her students and their families, and supports learning in all aspects. Heather is creative and engaging in her approach to instruction, which supported her new role this year as a remote kindergarten teacher. Can I say that again? Remote kindergarten teacher. She was very gracious when the administration approached her about it. In her interview, she admitted at first she wasn't happy to be chosen to be the remote teacher, but now she loves it. In her words, kindergarten teachers are like unicorns because we are unique, flamboyant, and sparkly. In fact, one of the panelists, Ruth Lee Colario, said, "It's hard enough to teach kindergarten, let alone doing it fully remote." I can only imagine. Heather, from all of us, sparkle on, girl.
I do want to thank my administrators and my fellow colleagues for giving this award. It was a tough year, but it went really well, and I also want to thank my past parents and my current parents, because it wouldn't have been as easy or as less bumpy in the road if I didn't have really good parents to back me. Thank you.
Thanks, Heather, and thanks for all the good work you do for our kindergartners. Empire. Good. Mr. Phillips. Mr. Phillips has worked in the food industry for more than 40 years. He's a certified chef and has worked in all aspects of the industry, including cook, chef, sales, and now schools and education. He has worked with Empire Elementary School for the past 5 years and has brought great passion for the team and students there. His sense of humor always helps students and staff to feel comfortable and important. He's willing to do anything that is asked and is always ready with a fresh plate of tater tots when needed as a pick-me-up. According to Terry Teeter, the kitchen manager at Empire, Jim is a great morale boost. With all the craziness of the past year, he's always ready with a joke or a story to keep everyone laughing. He's compassionate and caring. For the last 4 years, he's been living and assisting his 87-year-old mother. In his interview, he said, "It's a positive, can-do attitude that drives me." We all really need more friends and co-workers like you, Jim. Congratulations. The time's yours.
I'm still shocked. being here. But I want to thank Mrs. Squires, the Empire staff, for being honored to be here. And yes, I love having fun at work. It makes work easier. And the little guys, they're more fun, especially when you get to toy with them and they ask you what's for lunch, what's for breakfast, and you tell them something totally off the wall, and they stare at you like, no, you got to be kidding. Yes, I'm kidding. But thank you again. I'm really honored to be here and for this award. Thank you.
Congratulations, Jim. Kaylee. Miss Robinson is another homegrown product of the Carson City School District. As a 5-year-old, her first day of kindergarten was a magical experience. As a young girl obsessed with Disney, she looked at her teacher much as she thought of Snow White. Her new teacher was the perfect height with the perfect outfit. She had dark hair and a sing-song voice that was so sweet and welcoming. She was perceptibly loving, undoubtedly caring, and exhibited undeniable grit. Her first teacher was none other than Miss Patty Weldon, kindergarten teacher at Empire Elementary. Kylie said Miss Weldon was not only her kindergarten teacher, but also her third grade teacher, so she got to have her twice. Isn't it incredible the sort of impression teachers leave on students? As a student, Miss Robinson said it wasn't long before she began teaching lessons to her stuffed animals at home. Her obsession with education began in grade school. She later got to do her internship with Mrs. Weldon's classroom. She said she got her dream job almost immediately after earning her degree. She's now in her 7th year teaching 4th grade at Empire. She is the walking, breathing, and living evidence that fairy tales do undoubtedly come true. Kylie.
Thank you so much. I want to say 2 things and then I'll stop talking. First of all, one of my mentors, Brenda Downs, always told me that we are lifelong learners, that we never stop. And one of the things that I think we all learned this year is that education and its educators are essential. And I am under the firm belief that it takes a village to raise kids. And I have none of my own other than the 22 that I count this year and the previous that I've counted before. But I would not be here without my village of people, beginning and ending with my mother and father who are with me, or here with me tonight. They are my first and my forever educators. I also would not be here without my family, my brother and my sisters, who I get to teach alongside with every single day. And it starts with them, and then it ends with my nieces and nephews, who I think of my childhood, and they are all just the lighthouse in the fog for me. And it continues on with my Empire family, both present and past, because they are with me every single day. Nobody knows it like they do. And finally, it ends with Mrs. Weldon, who I know if she were here right now, she would be sitting back there with my parents, because she would fight her way in here somehow. And I try to continue her legacy every single day I step foot in my classroom with every child that I teach. And if it were not for my village teaching me, I couldn't go on to teach the kids that I love to teach every single day. So thank you all very much.
All right, Fremont. Jennifer. Ms. Jacobson started working in the K2 CLS class at the age of 21, where she worked with a teacher named Ellen Boyd at Seeliger Elementary for 3 years. She was then offered a position to work with adults with dual diagnosis. She quickly went from adults with disabilities to the outpatient mental health field, where she worked for more than 15 years. She's been back in the CLS program since 2017 and is an integral part of the CLS instruction team at Fremont. She models professionalism every day. She works with some of the most challenging students. She revealed to me in her interview her approach to each day. She said, "I know Johnny's going to throw chairs and pull my hair today. I just know it. But I have two choices, two trains of thought I can take in the morning. One, I can pack Advil and do my job, or two, I can help see what that student needs and help them associate appropriately with others." We're appreciative you usually choose the latter, Jen.
I just want to thank all of my colleagues and my administrators for nominating me for this award. I truly love working at and Fremont, sorry, Fritch. My child goes to Fritch. And I want to thank my students. My students are my inspiration for going to work every day. They inspire me to do better each and every day. Thank you.
Sandra. Like others mentioned previously, is it Sandy? Do you go by Sandy? Okay. Sandy dreamed of being a teacher in 4th grade. However, her collegiate and professional career is a testament to lifelong learning. She went back to school at age 35 and later graduated from WNC and UNR summa cum laude, earning her degree at age 45. Her second career certainly was born out of passion to help and support students to reach their maximum potential. Dr. Ward describes Sandy as a teacher of the whole child. She understands the complicated nature that each child brings to the classroom. She is always positive and supportive and is completely invested in the students. Ms. Huffman emphasizes the word practice. I believe, you put that word on the board in your classroom, right? It is. She said, there is safety in practice. People don't feel afraid to fail if they look at it as practice. Kids always beg for a second chance. When we give it to them, they improve academically and behaviorally. Sandy?
A big thank you to my Fremont family for honoring me with this award, especially this year when being an educator has turned into a mighty, mighty task, and that's all of us. I want to thank my teachers. They allow me in their classrooms and their grade level meetings and their ongoing conversations where we are always talking about how are we going to support all our students and improve their learning. And so I'm grateful to my teachers. And then to Dr. Ward and Mrs. Riquetta, they give such great guidance, and sometimes, to quote Dr. Ward, stop spinning your wheels, Sandy. And I've learned to stop doing that. And the second part is maybe the biggest gift of all. Dr. Ward has given me time to figure out if I wanted to be a gen ed teacher or a special education teacher. And I did. I got to figure it out with all the things she let me try, and I am truly a special education teacher, and for that, thank you so much. I am grateful. And then to my family, all of them, 2 of them are here tonight, my husband and my daughter, who, for their love and support as I struggled to go to college all those years, and then for their ongoing understanding of what it takes to be a teacher and how much time that actually takes. So thank you so much.
Thanks, Sandy. We really appreciate you. All right. Fritch. I'm smiling big. You can't see it, but man, I expected as much for Patrick. I just want to take time to give kudos to Mr. Brown for the letter he submitted for Patrick for this nomination and for him winning this award. That was one of the best letters in the years that I've been doing this to be written. I mean, he made some great comparisons. I've utilized a lot of what Mr. Brown put together here. Patrick Smith has been with the district for nearly 5 years. He's the lead custodian at Fritch, has 2 amazing kids, and is the head coach for JV girls basketball. Mr. Brown described him in his awards letter. Patrick is a lot like his favorite superhero, Batman. Always looking out for the school. He's a silent guardian, a watchful protector, and sometimes a Cape Crusader. Although Mr. Brown does not have, or although Mr. Brown does not have a bat signal to illuminate in the sky, he said Patrick is always ready for action when he's called on the radio. Patrick's utility belt doesn't have Batman's fancy gadgets, but the tools he uses helps to keep the staff and students safe. Whether it's disinfecting classrooms or the nurse's office, he's ready to spring into action. He even spent hours shoveling and cleaning sidewalks and walkways, only to find out later that the school had been canceled. That's going back to when we had 3 snow days in a row, and I think that first day Patrick shoveled everything, and then it snowed for like the next 3 days. A famous Batman quote that sums up Patrick is, "All men have limits. They learn what they are and learn not to exceed them. I ignore mine." Mr. Smith, or should I say Bruce Wayne?
I just want to thank Mr. Brown and Ms. Hoppy and everybody at Fritch who voted for me to accept this, and just to thank my family and my friends who are always there for me. So thank you.
Thanks, Patrick. We really do appreciate you. Mr. Williams, I found out today, is not going to be with us tonight, so I've got a good write-up for him as well. Interesting fact about Mr. Williams, he's a world champion for team roping. He earned the title at the 2017 Indian National Finals, so I think he knows a thing or two about teamwork. Mr. Williams has been teaching with the district for 9 years. He actively applies the principles taught by Dr. James Comer, a professor of child psychology at Yale. Comer says, "No significant learning occurs without a significant relationship." That's what Mr. Williams demonstrates every day. With those relationships comes trust and respect. Mr. Williams makes it a priority to make those connections with his students. In his classroom, he fosters a program called I Wish My Teacher Knew, which essentially gives his students an opportunity to share things about themselves. Mr. Williams elaborated a little bit on this concept during his interview. He explained to the panel that he tells his students, it's okay to have bad days. You just need to tell me. Tell me that the dog barked all night and you couldn't sleep. Or tell me that the cops came and you were scared. As soon as the teacher knows the struggles their students are experiencing, it's a little bit easier to endure patiently with behavior problems and academic struggles. Whether it's a rodeo or teaching, Tad never ceases to impress. So thank you, Tad. I believe he's on FaceTime with somebody. I don't know. He's definitely listening to the program, so we thank you, Tad. Okay, going to Mark Twain. Mike. I have so many good things to say about Mike. Let me give you his background first. Mike and his wife moved to Carson City 8 years ago. He has a degree in electronics, which he pursued for nearly 15 years. Since then, he worked in the local 401 of the IBEW, Electrical Workers Union, and had his own home inspection company in the Lake Tahoe area. He started custodial work at the state legislature in 2014. He found custodial work gratifying in several ways. The work itself was physically straightforward and not too mentally demanding. Since he began working as a custodian, he discovered he could study many topics of interest, including theology, science, and history nightly. He's played guitar for several decades, but since COVID shut down everything, he started to learn to play the piano. Kind of reminds me of, what is that show, Groundhog's Day, where he takes lessons over and over again. He's an accomplished artist in a style called digital rendering, where each piece is accompanied with a poem or prose. Excuse me. Many of his art pieces have been shown in galleries and universities across the country. Let me take a drink here. I'm getting a little dry. All right. I wanted to give my full undivided attention here. In his interview, Mike got pretty philosophical. Speaking about what it meant to be a custodian, he explained the ancient Greeks distinguished three notions that could properly be called love. Eros, considered a more passionate or intimate type love. Is it philo, which is the more friendly or brotherly love, and agape, which is the sacrificial love. Mike continued to explain his role as a custodian was really an outward expression of agape, sacrificial love. I think that's so true. Thank you, Mike. I love you in a very philo notion. The time is yours.
Well, thank you very much. I want to thank Mark Twain. It's a school I've learned and I've grown to love more and more. You know, I compare my experiences there with some experiences I've had in the past. I've been in the Marine Corps. I've been in the electrical union. You know, we have groups of men, women gathered together to complete a mission, a task. They often don't have any control over what it might be. But you work together and you get the thing done. And I'll tell you, coming to Mark Twain some years ago, I must tell you, I've never felt the commitment to a mission like I have there. I've also never felt the love like I have there. It truly is an honor. It is the best job, I think, at the best place. And I am truly thankful for all of them. And I appreciate them showing me this great honor, too. Thank you.
I'd like to remind Ruth Lee that Mike has gotten his certification to be a substitute, so whenever you need him, he's ready for you to call him up to the big leagues. Christy. At the core of her educational philosophy, Ms. Smith believes everyone can learn and improve. Her enthusiasm for learning is contagious. Christy works tirelessly to ensure her students have the best possible opportunity for great instruction. She lives and breathes first grade. It's her love. She often designs materials that incorporate with her students' interest. One example she used this year is the mobile app game called Among Us. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. My kids are going crazy about it. It's an app on your phone. She created measuring, comparing, and graphing lessons using the characters from the game. So each character has a different color, I believe. I've never played it, but my kids talk about it. But everybody is sus or suspicious. This helped increase student engagement while addressing rigorous standards. Additionally, Christy became an overnight sensation and expert when she took on full-time online learning. Teaching is a profession and job where you continue to learn as you go. So every day you need to continue to learn new things. Thanks, Christy.
I want to say thank you to Mrs. Clario, Mr. Sadie, and my entire Mark Twain family for choosing me to be here as their representative. It's truly an honor. I work with such amazing people, and I couldn't do this job without them, especially my first grade team. And I also want to thank my sister and my sister-in-law for joining me here tonight. Thank you.
Student Support Services, Ms. Jordan. Ms. Jordan has been employed at Student Support Services since 2015. She started as a Medicaid analyst and for the past 3 years has been administrative secretary. Not only does she work full-time for the district, but she also has an independent contractor for a makeup and skincare business, as evidenced by her warm smile and youthful eyes. In her role with the district, she manages confidential student files and ensures records comply with federal and state guidelines. Her effort has helped eliminate due process complaints filed by parents, and of course, that also results in children receiving the services they need and deserve. Ms. Jordan she has a positive energy, humor, and flexibility that assists her with diverse staff and problematic or sensitive situations. Ms. Jordan.
I want to thank my coworkers, Dr. Lennox and Ms. Santos, for this nomination. I am truly honored and extremely grateful to work with such an amazing staff. Thank you.
I really should reread the stuff that I write here. Make sure I can pronounce everything. Janet. Mrs. Silvestro started work for the district in 1992, mostly in the early childhood program, providing speech services to 3 to 5-year-old students. She's meticulous in understanding her students' programming needs and uses evidence-based practices to develop treatment plans for each. In addition to professional duties, Jan is dedicated to her family and religion. She's provided religious education to children for more than 25 years at St. Gall's Church in Gardnerville, which is a testament to her ability to educate the whole body, mind, and spirit. Early childhood is her love. She loves the younger kids because they help keep her young. Her professionalism in education is an inspiration for all educators to emulate. She's valued by her colleagues, students, and families with whom she works. The other thing that stood out to me during her interview was the way she described her philosophy on education. She said, "All children can learn to communicate. It may not be verbal, it may be gestures or signs or pictures, but they can all learn to communicate effectively." Jan.
I just wanted to thank the staff at Student Support Services in Early Childhood and Dr. Lennox and Sarah Santos for giving me this award. And I do love my students, and I've been doing it a long time, and I couldn't have thought of a better way to spend my life and my career besides devoting it to my family also and my husband who's here tonight. Thank you.
Transportation, we got Mrs. Hawkins. And I think we can all agree that there's not a more universal brand, image, or sound associated with school or education other than a bus. Seeing and hearing a bus is a clear indication that school is in session. Ms. Hawkins has been employed as a bus driver since 2014. She's a very dedicated and hardworking employee who always comes to work with a great attitude, either on time or early. It's relevant for a bus driver. She has served as one of the transportation department's out-of-town field trip drivers and as a school bus washer and polisher in the summer. She has 3 children who attend schools in the district. She loves traveling, loves seeing different sights, loves people, and she thoroughly enjoyed helping drive and distribute food and homework packets during the school closure last year. She said in her interview that of all the jobs she's had, this is the only one where she feels like it's a family. Rebecca.
Thank you. If it wasn't for Sheree, my boss, my friend, yeah, to me, it's not colleagues, it's family. That's it, just family. We're there for each other. Yeah, we might have some issues, but we always work it out. So yes, thank you.
All right, operations. Mr. Mosqueda. Now, I mentioned earlier that there's not a more recognizable sound than a school bus, but there is also not a more recognizable laugh. I'm sure you've all heard it, and I'm sure you all recognize it. That laugh belongs to Kevin Mosqueda.
Yeah, I said not about my laugh.
He's a mail delivery driver for the school district. One minute he's delivering mail and helping with lunches. The next minute he's receiving deliveries at the warehouse, running to a school site, or delivering school board packets. He's a proud father of a 3-year-old daughter and an 8-month-old son. He's passionate about his job and considers it his duty to do it well. He takes ownership for his position and needs little direction. He truly is an asset to the operations department and our district. He's also an avid baseball fan and loves the Dodgers, so Kevin.
First and foremost, I'd like to thank my family. Secondly, operations team for always being there and helping me out, especially Jody Mason and Andrew Marson. Without them and their help and support, I couldn't do what I can do. So, thank you.
Okay, we've got administration and PDC. Mr. Mark. Mark is the lead technology support technician for the Department of Innovation and Technology at the district office. He's one of our top performing employees who's always willing to assist his peers in all aspects of their work. On one specific occasion, I was having trouble with my work laptop. The battery was shot and beginning to expand. I was lucky it didn't explode. When I took it down to technology, Mark was there to assist. Because of the timely needs that I had for the communications department, without hesitation or even asking, he immediately removed the battery from his laptop and put it in mine. He was like there unscrewing his laptop. He was like, here, take mine. When COVID shut down schools, Mark and his team again took immediate action and created a plan to distribute Chromebooks to all students in the district. He personally assisted hundreds of students to resolve technical issues that were impeding their learning process. His coworker Brian said it best when describing Mark. He said, "Whenever I'm feeling stressed, I can count on Mark to break me out of that with a well-timed joke or an encouraging statement." Mark.
Thank you all for voting for me. I asked you not to, but you did it anyway. I'm grateful for where I work, and thank you all very much.
All right. We have one other recognition tonight, and that is for Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown is the principal of Fritch Elementary School, my alma mater. Is it alma mater, I guess? I attended kindergarten through 6th grade there. I had Mrs. Bahulian, Mrs. Braswell, Mrs. Ritchie, to name a few. I don't know if you guys remember them or not. I have many fond memories as a Bulldog, and I'm grateful for leaders like Mr. Brown who continue to foster an educational environment where students can learn as well as think back with pleasure or reflect on such a fun and memorable period of many of our young lives. Whether it's being duct taped to the wall or leading the charge on an exciting dress-up day, Mr. Brown is a stalwart leader who is passionate and dedicated to education. The well-being of our students is always at the forefront of his work, and he supports school culture and staff self-care. This year, more than ever, our teachers needed more emotional support from one another, and Mr. Brown helped facilitate a staff restorative circle where they were able to open up about feelings, emotions, and fears of COVID. In February, Fritch also lost 2 staff members to cancer. Mr. Brown took time to honor and hold a memorial. There's no shortage of passion and care in Dan. His thoughtfulness is felt by all. Mr. Brown.
Well, thank you so much. Excuse me. This year, it's an honor to have this award, because this award belongs to every administrator that's out there tonight. I remember back last March when we met in Carson Middle School Library to get the news that we were shutting down. And that was the last normal day I think we've had, because we've had to fly on the seat of our pants now and see what's going to happen each single day. And every administrator out here, you guys have done a wonderful job this year to keep our staff tight, keep our schools open, and do the job we have to do, so thank you so much. I also want to thank the mentors I've had in my life to support me and help me in the way of going into administration. Going back to Mr. Waddy, Mike Waddy, who got me into wanting to be an administrator, and then doing my internship with Mr. Albers at Fritch, and that was a great experience. And then have the awesome experience to work under people like Laurel Terry, Lee Conley, Tom Badillo, who was a great mentor, Jan Sullivan, and then Casey Gillis, who was the principal at at Fremont when I worked with her. But also I've had 2 amazing partners as a principal at Fritch. First of all with Cody Farnworth, and now with Gina Hoppy. And so thank you, Gina, for supporting me each day this year. But also I want to thank the incredible staff I have at Fritch. They do an amazing job. They do their job every single day, and I really appreciate what they are doing and the support they give to everybody and to their staff and to our students. And then finally, I want to thank my family for keeping up with me, staying strong. And like my son used to tell me, he'd always say, you leave your niceness at school when you come home. And I apologize for that. But I know that they understand. And so thank you so much. I appreciate this.
Thanks, Mr. Brown. We're happy to have you. Mr. Alpers was my principal, not to make you feel old. Let's see, we are getting down to the wire here. It's time for the final 2 awards, so I'm going to ask Mr. Cassiopa to come join me over here. As many of you know, each candidate endures a series of strenuous interview questions from a panel of comprehensive judges. Upon conclusion of those interviews, the panel has the difficult job of selecting 1 ESP Employee of the Year and 1 Educator of the Year. So, the overall ESP Employee of the Year award goes to Jillian Schufant. Now, in addition to being referred to as the light on Pioneers campus, there are so many other ways Jillian qualified for this award. Firstly, she was the only employee listed on every single panel member's top 3 list. As you can imagine, out of all these eligible candidates, there certainly is something special about her. Secondly, she revealed to us in the interview that the most important thing she's learned is that a good educator teaches students, not lessons. Education is most definitely all about them. They must be the center of the educational experience. Jillian, keep shining.
Thank you so much. And same kind of thing. Thank you to the people who've helped me get here. Thank you to Mr. Zona for being a mentor to me as only my second year in the district. I'm so grateful for this opportunity and so honored that the work that sometimes feels like it's not seen on a day-to-day basis with these kids, and we struggle and we go, why are we here? Why are we doing this? It does matter and it does count. So thank you.
Thanks, Jillian. And before I announce this final award, I need to say that I'm so sorry that our winner is unable to be here tonight. We want to recognize Mr. Tad Williams, Jr. Tad, I hope you saw that. You had a standing ovation here. I know he's watching either via FaceTime or some means. I want to share with you a few words about him, and then I'm going to invite, is it Ms. Hoppy up here? Mr. Brown will come up. I think he's on FaceTime, so we're going to try and put him on the microphone so he can share a few words. As Mr. Brown makes his way to the podium again, I'd like to share a few things that Mr. Williams shared with the panel in his interview. He told us that he was raised by his grandparents and needs to work daily on abandonment issues from his parents. He also revealed to us that he has more of a buddy-type relationship with his dad and that he's only met his mother 4 times. I'm sure his personal experience and upbringing helps him every day as he relates to students in his classroom as well as throughout the school. One of the panelists mentioned to me that he has even gone out of his way to follow a few students into their own classroom just to give them a compliment about how they were behaving so well as they traveled through the hallways. At its core, Mr. Williams believes that being nice to people builds a foundation where people will come to know, trust, and love you. And that's the real teaching, and that's where real teaching can begin. So come on down. If he can talk, I want to give him some time to speak into the microphone. Can he do that?
Don't give them a choice, tell me
So your district educator of the year. Could you hear all of that? Okay.
Crazy to hear.
A little bit closer.
Okay. Well, you're talking to everybody right now, so go right ahead.
All right, so to hear Ms. Hoppy, Mr. Brown, and Mr. Davis, District Educator of the Year, is just truly, it's amazing. It's very humbling, and I just feel like becoming an educator is just something that I've always wanted to be and wanted to do. First of all, thank you very much to the amazing staff at Fritch Elementary School who voted me to represent Fritch Elementary School this year. And it's an honor to be with all these teachers who accepted this award this year, especially the trying times we've been through. I'd also like to thank my amazing supportive wife. She's very inspiring to me and makes me want to be a better person, a better teacher, a better husband, and a better father. And she's just an amazing person to have as a best friend and an amazing position my children for being patient with me, for teaching me to be a better educator, to help understand children. I feel like if it wasn't for my children, Eiley, Taos, and Cole, I don't feel like I'd be the educator I am today. Because of them, they've made me a better person also. And I heard Mr. Davis talk about them, my amazing grandparents, who I feel are like my mother and my father. My grandma's a retired business teacher from Hawthorne, Nevada. She's taught me to be fair, and she always taught me to follow through with my words if I decide to be an educator. And then my grandpa, Wes Williams Sr., I admire this man so much. He is a father to me. He's a retired barber and a retired rancher, and he is a 1979 National Finals Team Roping World Champion who I've always wanted to ride horses like him, rope like him, talk like him. And the biggest thing I've walked away that he's instilled in me today is, Tad, just be calm. It'll all work out. So I think his calm demeanor has taught me so much, and don't sweat the small things in life. Things will be good. He is a very calm individual, and I owe a lot of this to my grandparents and my wife. Also, I'd like to say thank you to Mrs. Gary and Mr. Walker for believing in me and giving me an opportunity to first welcome me to Fritch. And I'll never forget that day walking through the halls with Mrs. Gary and Mr. Walker, and they asked me, what do you think is something you need to work on? And I said, well, probably learning how to teach Common Core, it's all new to me. And they looked at me and they said, we'll make you a better teacher, don't worry about it. So thank you for being confident. My past administrators, Mr. Brown, Dr. Cody Farnworth, they were our amazing administrators and leaders. I've listened to them in meetings. I've been with them, I listened and studied to how they handle situations, and they've taught me a lot. So thank you, Mr. Brown and Dr. Farnworth. And also to my current administrator, as you know, Mrs. Hoppy, stand before you. She's an amazing person. I've taught with her, I've worked with her, got to know her and her family, and she teaches amazing and models amazing leadership all day at school, at work. She juggles life of being an administrator, and what a great person and mom. So thank you, Ms. Hoppy, for modeling a balanced work life. You're doing an amazing job. And lastly, to the 5th grade team I've been a part of at Fritch Elementary School. I'll never forget the first day my wife asked me what Fritch is like to work at, and I said, these teachers mean business. And every 5th grade team I've been a part of, from Mrs. Carey to Mrs. Crowley, Gina Hoppy, who was on that team, Miss Montez, Miss Benson, Miss Monroe, Regina Ford, a variety of them. They have been great mentors for helping me become an amazing educator. And also thank you to Carson City District for giving me an amazing opportunity and phenomenal place to work at. Hope I end my career here, and along with Mr. Stokes and his great leadership, and the school board that also guides us through leadership. So thank you so much for that opportunity. Amazing place. Thank you, Mr. Davis, for the opportunity and your very kind words. Thank you, Mr. Brown, for leading us at Fritch Elementary School during these hard times. And thank you, Mrs. Hoppy, for being supportive and for supporting me as an educator. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate this. Thank you.
Mr. Williams is going to go on, and he's going to represent Carson City School District and the statewide Educator of the Year competition as well. So congratulations again to all winners. Let me just make sure I've got everything up here. Thanks for all the support here tonight. Just your presence, again, is a testament to your commitment to our employees, our co-workers, our students. We certainly have amazing employees and teachers here, so let's give each other a nice round of applause. Let's make it another great year. I'm going to turn the time back over to President Castiello.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you to everybody. I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but education is a tough profession for everybody. We've got, I should say you have, ever-changing challenges throughout each school year, this year being no exception. Everybody demands a lot from everybody to make it work. Students, in my opinion, students deserve, and we know families expect, quality teachers in schools, quality educators, and fortunately for them, it's my opinion, that we have some of the best in the world right here in the Carson City School District. So thank you for everything each of you do. We really can't thank you enough, can't express enough appreciation for everything all of you do. So thank you very much. With that ends the recognition portion of tonight, and we're going to move on to item 10. As we wrap this up, request for future agenda topics. Do we have any from the board? I didn't think so, but I had to ask. Renee put it on the agenda. I got to follow this. Okay, with that, thank you for your patience. And again, thank you for your professionalism. We are adjourned.